Hello, Laverne here, and thank you for joining me. May this video be a blessing to you, and may it honor and glorify God in His kingdom. This video is in response to one made by the YouTuber HealthyAddict, and I'll include a link to her video in the description box. As well, I'll be including a couple of other links that I'll be talking about within this video. Now, her video has to do with a recent shooting, I believe it was in Florida, and the person claimed to be a humanist on their Facebook page. Now, Ashley, the Healthy Addict, has taken the view of looking at this person possibly as an atheist. And it's her view that she explains in the video that she doesn't think the person's belief had anything to do with his actions, his shooting at some people and then eventually taking his own life. It's her stance that you can't blame atheism, non-belief, for people acting this way. Now, at the end of her video, she also brings up the point that when you look at the statistics in jail, the numbers are disproportionate for the actual percentage of atheists, meaning that there are far fewer atheists in jail than what you would expect given their percentage in the general population. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. Now, Ashley asked if anyone knew of someone leaving a suicide note and specifically mentioning that they're doing it because they are an atheist. She would like to hear about it. Well, I'm going to include a link to a site, to a letter that was written by someone who ended up doing just this kind of thing. And in the letter, what you see is that the person makes a statement that they want to kill as many religious people as possible, especially Christians. So here we have somebody who is a non-believer, and they want to take out their frustrations and their anger on religious people. And it is, as well, it's noted by authorities that it seems to be copied in part from a manifesto that was written by one of the shooters of the Columbine shooting back in 1999, I believe it was. And so when we look at people like this, the Columbine shooters and so on, and this letter that I'm going to be providing a link to, we see that there are people who will kill others and take their own life, and they do it because they do not believe. And they are taking their frustrations and their anger out on religious people. Now, this was not the case of the Columbine shooters. They were taking out their frustrations on people who had bullied them. And there's also the issue of mental illness and so on. But we also must consider their non-belief, their non-religious affiliation. I'm also going to include a link to a study that was done by the American Psychiatric Association. Now, this is a non-religious affiliated association. And if you doubt this, just take a look at some of the information that they have on themselves. They, for example, support abortion. If you go and look up their thoughts and statement on abortion, you will see that they support, that they are pro-choice. So they are in no way affiliated with any kind of religion. And if you read the survey, if you look at their findings, what you will see is that they state that someone who is non-affiliated with a religion is more likely to commit suicide and take their life. So those people who are affiliated with religion are less likely to commit suicide. So there are stats out here that do show that the person who is a non-believer, who is an atheist, is more likely to commit suicide and actually go through with it. As well, there are cases of people who are atheists actually writing letters explaining their hatred towards religious people, and that is the reason for doing the things that they were doing, meaning killing others and then taking their own life. Now, in regards to the fact that Ashley brought up this idea that there are fewer atheists in the jail system than what you would expect. What Ashley does not take into account is that there are many other reasons that could account for this other than simply the statistic that we see. She jumps to the conclusion that this statistic then means that atheists are committing fewer crimes. This is the conclusion that she's coming to. But there are many other things to consider, and when you consider the other things, you do not come to this same conclusion. For example, when we look at the statistics in jails, we must consider things such as, is there a benefit to claiming any particular religion affiliation? For example, if you're up for parole, or if you are trying to get parole, is there a benefit in being affiliated with some kind of religion? I believe most people would say yes, especially if you've been in the jail system. People who have been in the jail system understand fully that if they are going to get parole or have a better chance at parole, then it is good to have some kind of affiliation with something on the outside. And oftentimes this is religion, although it could be as well with rehab programs. If somebody is in a rehab program and they are going along with it, they will have a better chance of rehab and so on. And many rehab programs within the jail system are religious based. As well, there are jail ministries where people are going into jails trying to convert people. But as far as I know, there are no atheist jailhouse ministries. I don't see people going into the jailhouses trying to convert them to atheism. So the chances are that people would go into a jail as an atheist, enter the jail system as an atheist, but they would leave being affiliated with some kind of religion. And then if they were to come back into the jail system again, and if they were asked what religious affiliation they had, they would claim the religious affiliation that they had learned while in jail the first time. So this idea that religious people are committing more crimes, we cannot come to that conclusion based on this statistic. And there are other things to consider as well. Not only must you look at the fact that there are jailhouse ministries and the fact that it is a benefit to people to claim a religious affiliation, but then we also must look at who would make a better criminal. I know atheists would hate to look at this or consider this. But if a religious person, at the core of their belief system, because of it being built into them and taught to them, this idea of a conscience, of when you do wrong, that your conscience nags on you, then these people would make poor criminals. Their conscience would play against them and would result in more religious people being caught simply because of their conscience. However, if somebody has no conscience, if they lack morals, if there is nothing nagging at their conscience, for example in Christianity, the Holy Spirit, then the chances are that they would make a better criminal and would be less likely to be caught. Therefore, the presumption should not be that atheists are committing fewer crimes, but rather that atheists make better criminals and are less likely to be caught. Now, I know a lot of people, atheists, are not going to like this, but it is something that must be considered. As well, from a Christian belief. Christians believe and are taught that God punishes those that He loves. He disciplines those that He loves. So if somebody is a Christian and they are falling on the wayside, committing crimes, according to Christian belief, God will discipline and punish them. And one of the ways He will do it is having them be caught and end up in jail, being punished in jail. In this way, they are humbled and end up turning once again to God. So the criminal aspect, or I shouldn't say the criminal aspect, but this whole idea of the jailhouse, this is a perfect setting for someone turning to God. And this is why we see more religious people in the jails than what we do atheists. This is why I say, I hope one day that every criminal found in the jails will be a Christian. It would make me extremely happy. And I hope one day that that is the case, that every criminal in the jail is a Christian. All right, as always, I look forward to comments and messages. Till next time, peace and blessings.